Right, I saw a really nice design on an Islamic art forum in Facebook. Um, I think it's called Islamic Art Drawings or something like that. Anyway, I decided to make it as one of these skeletal things that I've been making. And it's a dodecahedron. This was the only one I could find knocking around. I've got loads of them. Anyway, so it's what it is a series of overlapping interlocked rings, 12 rings making up the dodecahedron. So I've drawn up the design, and I've also changed the design a little bit because I want there to be a star in the centre of each of the faces of the dodecahedrons, a pentagram in the face of each one. So here's my design. I just drew, there's a nominal sized dodecahedron of 25 millimeters, which is midway between the overlap, which gives me a nominal dodecahedron radius of 35, which is 70. But of course it's going to be bigger because to create space for the overlap. So they end up at 39 long. The edges end up at 39 long. So it'll be bigger than 75, but I'm not really worried about the size. I think it comes in at 84 or something like that. Anyway, here's the diagram, and I drew this diagram just to find out the size of one of the tiles, because I'm going to make up each pentagon, out of 5 pieces, and that's the shape of one of the pieces. Ignore this little notch. I'm working out whether if I put a little bit of shape into the back of that, whether it'll look more interesting or better or worse. I haven't made my mind up yet. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is make a German ring with that profile. Very simple, obviously, because it's just a V and straight. So that's simple enough. And I make it so it can hold 32. So in 2 goes I can make 64. The size of that tile is 39 long by 9.5 tall. So I drew up an individual tile there, and there's the dimensions, and how I'm going to make that is first cut that profile on the German ring, and then after that I'm going to make a push block for my router table, make it on the table saw with an angle cut of 18 degrees. So that angle's 18 degrees across there. So that's a 190 plus 18, 108 degrees interior angle there. So I'll cut that on the table saw, just a block of wood, say 3 inches wide by 6 inches long. Then I'll cut a 4mm slot in it to hold this, and I'll chisel out that little peak that is one of the interior angles of the star, so that one piece slots in there, 39mm long slot, so that that little bit will hang over the edge, and I can set the router fence with the bit level with the fence, open up the gates of the fence a little bit and just nip those all off, flip it over, nip the other side off, then I'll end up with 64 pieces. And of course they need a lap joint, so one side has to be on the top, the lap joint cut out and one on the other, so that's easy enough. After I've got them all sized with the angle on cut on the end, I cut I set my router bit out 4mm from the fence, and I just cut a rebate half the width of my wood, which is 3mm, so 1.5mm up, 4mm out from the fence. I just cut a rebate straight down that wood, and then that's right, when I put that wood in and I run that down the fence, I end up with a rebate half the width of the piece of wood, flip it over, and I end up with the rebate on the other end, on the other side of the piece of wood, of the tile. And then 5 of those fit together to form one of these pentagons. And there are 12 pentagons in the dodecahedron, so 60 of those will construct together very easily, because all I've got to do is put them together in 4s at first, make up 4s and leave one edge out, finish one, put the next one in, make sure I go over, under, and then put that last piece in to finish that piece off. Then put the next piece in, again make sure I'm over, under on the central ring, and then it'll go under, over on, it'll go under the one I've just put in, and then on the next one, you get the idea anyway. It's like a Celtic knot. It always goes over, under, over, under, over, under. It never goes over, over, or under, under, otherwise it's wrong. So that's the design, that's the plan. Should be fairly straightforward. Thanks for watching.